or in the forest, but you're not actually. So these are, kumbaga sabi ng dati, no, tawag natin dyan special effects. So today, we call it deepfake.
Deepfake. Nagiging deepfake siya kung may iba yung intention.
Yes, kung ang intention, you're trying to make it appear something that it is not.
Mm-hmm. So how do we identify deepfake?
Well, there are technologies and there are software that's out there that we can use in order to distinguish between altered images from the original images. And what's important, but with the use of those technology or those software, you need to actually have a copy of the original one and then put it into the algorithm so that it will now be able to identify if that image is altered or not. So in forensics, they use actually those software in order to analyze whether things are authentic or not. So using forensic tools. And there are forensic tools that are available out there to distinguish those.
Okay. Recently, we've seen some high-profile deepfakes that have affected celebrities and even officials.
Yes.
Could you give us an update on any investigation regarding this matter?
Well, it's still ongoing, and we've identified several of those. No, some of them actually are even being used for marketing purposes.
Mhm.
So you see ads taken out on social media, purportedly to be coming from a celebrity endorsing a particular product, but that celebrity actually never endorsed that product. So they use the face and they use the video of that celebrity, but actually the words that are coming out are not from that person, but it sounds like that person. And then they endorse a product that is fake or that is being sold in order to increase its marketability. And we've received complaints coming from those celebrities, and we relay it to the social media platforms, informing them that these are fake and that the true celebrities that are there have already submitted the complaint. So responsive naman, some of the social media platforms, they take it down immediately, especially if it's proven that they're fake.
Well, we're always on TV. We're also quite vulnerable to deepfakes. Anyone can take our image and announce something.
Yes.
Is there anything there that protects us? Especially like you're an official of the government, and some of our officials have been attacked. How do you investigate, and what can be done?
Well, we need to probably come up with more responsive and timely policies in order to address this, no? Especially when it comes to matters of national security. I mean, we cannot have a situation where a high government official is suddenly posted on social media announcing, let's say, a major disaster or an explosion or whatever, causing panic to the citizenry, when in fact that wasn't the truth. And a lot of responsibility actually falls on the social media platform that delivers, that is the platform that empowers this kind of information or misinformation. And other governments have already tried to address that. For example, Malaysia has just come out with a law that requires now social media platforms that has a following of more than 8 million are now required to get a license or a permit from the country. And that now puts more control by the country that if these social media platforms misbehaves or allows misbehavior, then they can be imposed with penalties.
The media company, the social media.
The social media company. Right.
So what happens if somebody gets deepfaked for whatever reason and you're over 18? Hindi ka pa safe. Walang protection ang mga tao.
For now, the only protection would probably be defamation,
Cyber libel.
cyber libel, defamation. Um, the you see, criminal law by its nature is you know designed to be interpreted very strictly against the state in favor of the accused. And so you cannot overexpand its definition or its coverage outside of what the law clearly states. And therefore, if it is only covering a certain age group, then that's really where it stays. The courts cannot expand its coverage outside of the limits of the law.
So do you think we need a new law?
I think so. We need a new law. Actually, I think we need to have a more comprehensive law rather than bits and pieces of legislation that addresses small items or specific items. For instance, you have an anti-scam law, you have an anti-misinformation law, you have an anti-deepfake law or something like that. Like, for instance, in other countries, they have, example, Singapore, they have online harm law. So that covers anything. If your conduct online causes harm, whether it's phishing, scamming, deepfake, misinformation, whatever, then it's covered under that law. So I think that's a better way of addressing this whole thing, rather than having separate laws that addresses all. Well, we have actually a lot of laws, and it's very difficult to keep track and to enforce all of them. So I think a more comprehensive approach would be